VHS covers didn't sell movies because they were accurate, they sold movies because they screamed louder than everything else on the shelf. This was the time before Rotten Tomatoes, before trailers on demand, before online reviews, before the internet. The only way you could tell if a movie was good or not was the box art, and it did all the heavy lifting. Last week, we locked in the line work. This week, we make the most dangerous decision in the entire process: color. Normally I would spend days testing color palettes, tinkering and second guessing, but we're on a timeline here. We're building a physical product and we have an animation to make. We need to lock these colors in now so everything else can move forward. Before I decide on a single color, I need to recalibrate my eyeballs. My biggest reference point here is Graham Humphreys, a UK illustrator who was designing VHS box art during the 1980s, particularly during the period of the video nasties moral panic.
The titles of the works themselves are a catalogue of depravity.
And the title of Cannibal Holocaust, well, that says it all. What was the MP's reactions to what you showed them?
I think they were horrified by what they saw.
During this period, movies were being outright banned, sometimes without anyone even taking the time to watch them, just purely based on the box art.
I have never seen a video nasty. I wouldn't. I have far too much.
But how can you judge on a video nasty? You've never seen one.
Look, if somebody tells me, as we get these reports in from Europe, from America, and from this country, that a particular video nasty contains that, and that, I actually don't need to see visually what I know is in that film.
His over-the-top aesthetic wasn't very subtle. It was loud, it was confrontational, and that's exactly the kind of energy that we want here. His work on Evil Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Return of the Living Dead are particular standouts for me. You've got a lot of these neon pink reds, toxic greens, electric blues. These are color choices designed to cut through the noise and grab your attention. Loud, unapologetic, that's the energy we need here, confrontational. The second major influence on color would be Joan Vasquez. You know him as the creator of Invader Zim and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
That's tag ship you're sitting in, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Zim. It fell from the...
Isn't it?
I said it was! Man, you have a problem with listening, Zim.
Isn't it?
His color choices in Invader Zim play a role in making any potential violence feel fun and slapstick. It's too cartoonish to take seriously. That's the balance we're after: VHS loudness and cartoon logic. I take a small section of the illustration and I use that to build a digital painter's palette. A swatch of primary, secondary and accent colors that I can reference throughout the process. I'm easing back from my normal turquoise heavy color palette, but I'm not completely abandoning it. Teal will be front and center in the bowling pins. Instead of traditional highlights, I'm pushing exaggerated neon reflections, greens, magentas, very cartoon logic, very VHS logic. I want your eye to hit the pins first and travel upwards into the chaos. The severed head smashing into the bowling pins. Your eye should move from here to the center punk girl, then up again to the title: Bikini Bowling Bloodbath Babes, and I've rendered this in a bold neon magenta. To stop that magenta from overpowering everything, I mute it slightly with a darker undershading, and I add highlighted accents throughout the top of each word. The ball breakers are a gang of four. They dress the same, they move the same, so color has a lot of work to do here. The only differentiating feature is their hairstyles and their hair color. Think of Patty and Selma or Terry and Sherry from The Simpsons. I want their vibe to feel like candy-coated violence, if that makes sense. Graphic imagery, but it's rendered bright and playful, and obviously color plays a huge role in selling that idea. On the back of the VHS, the palette shifts slightly. I make the colors a little bit more muted because, remember, text has to live on top of the image here. Too much contrast will kill any readability. Foreground stays vibrant, the background gets dialed back a little bit, because you gotta practice a little bit of restraint. Once the initial colors are down, I throw a black layer on top of the image and I set it to saturation, turning the entire thing grayscale. If the image doesn't read in black and white, the colors aren't doing their job. High contrast in grayscale means the color relationships are working. It's a cool trick. Try it. Once the colors are locked, I start adding some subtle VHS wear and tear, paper textures, grime, sticker residue, but I'm careful here. Too much and it becomes cheesy. Used just right, it adds authenticity. I also play with font and type for the text on the back of the image. I move it around, I highlight and accent some words until it fits perfectly into the space and, more importantly, is readable. This is where it stops being an illustration and becomes a VHS cover. Next comes the actual VHS cassette tape. The manufacturer allows full color printing directly on the VHS shell. I learned a lot when I experimented with printing directly onto the VHS with the last release. Small details don't register well at this scale. So I take the bowling pins and severed head image from the artwork, but I give this version heavier lines, fewer micro details. It's the same imagery, just slightly simplified. At this point, all of our physical assets are finished. The front cover, the back cover, the spine, the print on the videotape itself. It is all ready to send to the printers. Once it goes out, there's no going back, there's no tweaking, there's no second guessing. This is the scary part. Next week, we shift gears completely and we move into planning and storyboarding the animation. We need to take this fake movie concept and turn it into a 90-second trailer. Watch me turn this into an animation. That's when the real pressure is going to start. Yeah, I might even have a mental breakdown. So come along, it'll be fun. Well, for one of us. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.